Welcome back to POD Labs, our research laboratory where we analyze, test, and prove the best ways to launch a successful online store. I'm Leah, the lead scientist in niche discovery and profit maximization. Today's experiment: can you successfully start an online business if you have no idea what to sell? The short answer, yes. The long answer, also yes. If you apply the proper scientific method for finding profitable niches, which is exactly what I'm about to show you now. So grab your goggles and suit up. It's time to start researching niches that can make you money. So, a niche is basically a group of shoppers who share a common interest. For example, people who love plants, gamers, or couples planning a wedding. This common interest will be the base for the designs you create and the products you sell. With me so far? Excellent. The trick is finding a niche with enough enthusiastic shoppers looking for something to buy. Lots of people shop for birthdays, holidays, weddings, or other occasion-themed items. Some like to shop for products geared towards occupations, like gifts for teachers or nurses. Others look for items around certain sports, animals, design styles, and more. The point is, people have tons of different hobbies and interests, and there's a lot of popular niches to choose from. However, items in any of these niches are popular for a reason. Lots of buyers search for them regularly, which means they're in high demand. Unfortunately, that also means that selling them can be very competitive. More competition makes it harder for new sellers to stand out. Not impossible, just harder. Many new sellers have still had success in popular niches by offering something unique. The key is to niche down and focus on a specific group of buyers within your niche and the products they're most likely to purchase. Let's take plant enthusiasts as an example. A general plant-themed store is a great start, but it's also highly competitive. Instead, let's narrow it down step by step. From plant lovers, we can go deeper to target moms who collect houseplants. From there, we can be even more specific by targeting moms who love succulents. And if we want to go even further, we can think of a product they might be interested in. Say, succulent-themed coffee mugs for plant moms. This is just an example, but it's something we can do with other niches as well. Here, we've gone from a broad niche like gamers to stickers featuring pixel art for fans of retro arcade games. Or from engaged couples, we can niche all the way down to personalized t-shirts for guests attending bachelorette parties. The idea is to go from competing with thousands of other sellers in a broad niche to a more focused niche where the demand is still high, but the competition is lower. I'll tell you more about how you can do that in just a bit. But for now, we have a problem. How can we find the right niche with enough demand from passionate buyers, but with little enough competition so that the chances of people buying from us is a lot higher? The answer? Research. Before we even think of creating a design or a product, we need to research our audience, which is why your first assignment is to list 3 types of passionate customers you could sell to. Think of people who actively spend money on their interests. Then, just like our niches, get specific. Find the accounts, groups, or pages they like to follow and learn about who they are. Try to understand their age, gender, income level, education, as well as their other interests. That way, when it comes time to niche down, you can already have ideas about who to target. But if you're struggling to think of ideas, then start by writing down the things that you love. Your own interests can be a great starting place because you already understand the audience. However, think of this more like practice rather than hard proof for what to sell. Sometimes the things we love don't exactly make for profitable niches. Just because I love underwater basket weaving, for example, doesn't mean there's going to be a lot of buyers for my underwater basket weaving merch. Ideally, it'd be great if our personal hobbies always translated into best-selling products. But running a profitable business is a bit more complicated than that. Otherwise, my underwater basket weaving empire would be absolutely killing it right now. Sadly, It is not. But if you're still having trouble coming up with a group of buyers to sell to, then it's time to take out your phone. Flip through social media, your favorite online marketplace, search engine, or even use AI and make a note of anything you think is a niche that someone would like to buy a product for. In fact, if you can already think of a product these buyers would really like, write that down too. Even if you don't, that's okay, because now that we've identified some target groups, it's time to move on to the next step of our research, studying their behavior. Most niches fall into two main categories: evergreen niches and trending niches. Evergreen niches are steady, meaning they offer products that remain in demand all year round. For example, items for book lovers, pet owners, or even consumer packaged goods like skincare products. Trending niches feature items that capitalize on short-term popularity driven by viral moments, pop culture, or seasonal events. Think of items based on trending TikTok phrases, election-themed products, back to school, or holidays like 4th of July and Christmas. This is important to keep in mind as you begin to identify what your buyers are searching for. Ideally, you'll want to find ideas for products that sell really well for both the short and long term. By the way, we should tell you that even after all our research, we still don't know what the word skibidi actually means. If you were born after 2010, please let us know in the comments. We really want to know. For science, of course. With that in mind, it's time to pull out our keyword analyzer and begin our next experiment. I have 3 samples in front of me that we're going to use to analyze our target group's behavior. What we're looking for are the keywords buyers in our potential niche use to search for products. These keywords will give us a clear idea about what our buyers want and the products we need to create. Remember, our goal is to serve our audience's demand. That being said, the first sample we'll be looking at are search engines like Google. Type in the niche you're interested in and make a note of the auto suggestions that pop up. These are examples of the most popular search terms associated with your niche. For example, let's say I want to target plant moms. Here's what shows up. Immediately, I'm seeing product ideas like mugs, shirts, socks, and charms. If I wanted even more proof that this is a niche buyers are actually interested in, I'll also include the keyword gift and take a look at the search results. As you can see, right up top is a sponsored section with ads for these plant mom themed items. This is a good sign that I have a niche which is in demand. Otherwise, why would so many sellers consider investing in ads for their products if it wasn't? But remember, this is science, which is why we're going to need even more data to prove our theory. Let's look even closer at our search terms by opening up Google Trends. I'll put in the same keywords and see what comes up. Already, I can see that in the past 5 years, searches for plant mom peak regularly in the spring and at Christmas. I can also see that folks looking up these keywords also search for design aesthetics like cottagecore and occasions like Mother's Day. I've now found a product, design, and occasion I can use to help narrow down my niche. And that's just from looking at Google. Neat, huh? Of course, you can analyze other keywords related to your niche to get more ideas. But for now, let's use the same process to examine our second sample, marketplaces. Except this time, we're gonna go even deeper with our keyword and niche analysis. Let's dive back in, shall we? Marketplaces like Etsy, Amazon, eBay, and TikTok Shop are petri dishes full of buyer behavior. If items related to your niche are selling well there, it's a good sign you've got eager buyers. So let's start by looking at the auto suggestions the Etsy search bar gives us first. Right away, I'm seeing the same items I found on Google, and some new ones as well. As I open up the search results page, once again, I'm seeing ads for plant-themed products. Another good sign. Except this time, let's click into a product to see what we find. Just by looking at this item's listing title, I can see keywords associated with multiple niches: plant moms, dog lovers, and coffee enthusiasts. This is a great example of how you can potentially cross-niche different audiences into your product. That way, your item can appeal to more buyers and increase the likelihood of you making a sale. Want to go even deeper? Scroll down to the section at the bottom of the product page marked Explore Related Searches. These search recommendations are also known as tags. Tags are extra keywords sellers add to their listings to help them appear in more search results, instead of the high-frequency search terms that go into the listing title. Tags are opportunities for sellers to use additional keywords that can target similar themed or other niche items that buyers might be looking for. In this example, buyers looking for items related to dogs or coffee will also see this plant-themed item show up in their search results. Now that is smart selling. For us, however, these tags can be a great place to get ideas about other niches, items, or design themes we can link to our own niche. What you're doing here is something called cross-niching. It's when you look for common themes in different niches in order to combine them into a unique and profitable niche. Remember when I told you how new sellers are still able to thrive in highly competitive niches? This is how, by offering something different. In fact, here's a fun game. Try searching a niche on Etsy to see if any items show up that contain more than one niche. I'll go first. Here's what happens when I put in cats, for example. Immediately, I see items that feature, surprise, surprise, cats and plants. But wait, there's more. St. Patrick's Day and cats, cats in space, books and cats, even cats and ramen. I could go on, but you get the point. Cross-niching is a great way to use keywords in order to learn how to offer something different. Of course, another way to make a niche product stand out is by offering personalization. Buyers love products that feel like they were made just for them. Whether it's by adding their own name, a special date, or even a custom design, personalization helps turn an ordinary item into something meaningful and unique. And the best part? They're often willing to pay more for it too. Either way, whether it's through cross-niching or personalization, you still need to understand if what you plan on offering can even make you money. To figure that out, we'll need to look at our next sample, keyword research tools. So far, keywords have helped us discover unique niches to potentially create products for. What we still don't know is whether there is any actual demand for those items. After all, we don't want to waste time creating something no one wants to buy. Luckily, we can track how much demand there is for a niche product using a keyword research tool. For this experiment, I'll be using eRank. However, there are plenty of other handy tools you can try like SEMrush, Ahrefs, Evergreen, Marmalade, and more. Now, it's time to take a closer look. Let's say that after doing my research, I decided to create items for plant moms who love succulents. There are two ways eRank will let me know if this is an idea that would be profitable. The first is by checking to see if anyone is searching for those niche keywords at all. For this example, I'm gonna look up the terms plant mom succulent gift. As you can see, there's not a lot of search information for those exact keywords put together. However, eRank does show us that broadly, mom gift and succulent have plenty of search volume and competition. This is important because Etsy's algorithm uses both exact and broad keyword matching to find what buyers are looking for. It's why you'll see sellers crafting long listing titles with many keywords describing their product. The idea is that by including a mix of both keywords, more buyers will be able to find your item. Although keyword search volume and competition is only one level of understanding demand. The next level is checking if there are products using these keywords that actually make sales. For this, let's look at the top listings tab. Here, eRank shows us which items actually show up if you search those keywords on Etsy. I can even sort these items by the ones that have made the most sales. Right away, I can spot some succulent-themed stickers, sweatshirts, and even mugs. E-Rank also shows me how old these items are, their price, and how many sales they've made. For example, this succulent sticker has sold 46 times in the past 2 years. This sweatshirt, 10 times in the past 4 years. From this data, we can see that succulent-themed items have low product velocity, meaning they've made few sales over a long period of time. A product with high velocity, on the other hand, would show more sales in a shorter period of time. The idea is that anything selling fast and consistently is a good sign that creating similar products would lead to a better chance at making sales. Once again, these are just the items that came up under the specific keywords that I searched. Keep in mind that different keywords will yield different results. Based on this information, I can tell that even though items for this particular niche do sell, the demand for them isn't very steady, nor is it that high. At this point, I can either refine my keywords and niche to look for items that do get more sales, or I can take a step back to find a niche product that has both a high search and sales volume. Once I do, I can finally move on to the last part of our niche research experiment, establishing my unique selling points. Let's go back to the drawing board. So, let's review. In order to find a niche that works for us and our buyers, we've identified passionate buyers with a proven interest, looked up search trends related to those interests, found opportunities to cross-niche items based on those interests on a marketplace, and used keyword research tools to test the demand for those items. Now, before we start actually creating designs for products based on our proven niche, the last step is to define what will help those items actually stand out to buyers in that niche. For this, you need to consider 5 things. The first is your item's price. Is your item going to be considered a luxury, mid-tier, or budget-friendly option? Next is quality. How will your item compare to other similar items in your niche? Would it be considered a premium quality product or more of a novelty item? Then it's time to look at geography. Where do buyers in your niche tend to shop from, and is there a way to target them specifically? Next up, take a moment to consider your buyers' demographics. Who are they? What's their age, gender, income level, education, and more? This is something you should have already considered when figuring out an audience to target, but it's good to remind yourself once again as you start creating designs. Finally, take into account what your buyers' values, interests, and attitudes might be towards your item. For example, buyers looking for yoga-themed items might be interested in natural materials or reusability. Taking all these factors into account is the last step to narrowing down your unique niche. That way you can begin to create products with a clear understanding of who your buyers are, what they want, and how to offer them something no one else can. Remember, as long as you approach this process scientifically by researching your audience, testing your ideas, and analyzing your results, you'll always have a reliable method for finding a profitable niche. Just like in a lab though, not every experiment leads to a breakthrough on the first try. In the same way, not every idea you research will turn into a bestseller. That's why it helps to have a process to try again. If one niche doesn't perform as expected, you can go back, refine your research, and keep testing until you find the right formula for success. At POD Labs, we've turned creating best-selling products into an exact science. That's why we were surprised to learn about the #1 design mistake being made by new sellers: using the wrong color mode for your design. Lucky for you, I ran an experiment to figure out how to choose the right color mode for you. Click on this video next to find out how I did it, and I'll see you there.